watching Let's Chat.
This morning in today's My Best Me check-in, Coach Maurice, of course, joining us, but we're practicing social distancing. Coach Maurice, thanks for joining us.
Yes, good to be with you. Thank you, Jess.
So everyone or a lot of people are transitioning to working from home now. And you have a couple tips for us this morning, correct?
I do, and this is coming from the World Health Organizations. It's really interesting, helpful hints because it's easy for boundaries between home life and work life to get blurred. And a lot of times you're not really spending enough time with the family, quality time, and you're not really getting your work done. So here's what the World Health Organization suggests. First, managing stress while working from your house. They really want you to accept the fact that you're going to have hurdles, you're going to have problems, so don't be too hard on yourself. Okay. Number two, stick to your routine. For example, if drinking a cup of tea in the morning before you leave the house, that gets your mind ready for work, keep the same ritual. One of the things that I do is I still get up at 6:30 in the morning. I go for my runs, even though my schedule is more open now. I make the bed, I take a shower, I get dressed. Don't change your routine too much. It is important that you stay on the same routine as a normal work day. Okay? And then create a physical space. What we suggest is, and they suggest the garage may be one of your best options. If you can put your desk and table in there to get away from the family. And then they suggest post something on the door. Let them know your work hours. Say, okay, from 8 to 10, don't bother me. And at 10 o'clock, we'll go out and get a sandwich, for example. So they suggest communication. They suggest that you isolate yourself during the work hours and keep some of your morning rituals the same as a normal work day.
And I could say, I have my at-home office set up in our formal dining room. And I don't have
Right.
near as many challenges as most people. I don't have children at home with me. My husband is still going out to work, so I'm at home by myself. But there's
Right.
something satisfying at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening when I get up from the table, I turn my dining room light out, and I walk out of the room for the night.
Good for you. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things they suggest is what used to be your ritual when you left work? What triggered your brain to tell you that, hey, it's time to clock out and go home? They want you to try to maintain some of those things. For example, if one of the rituals was to go to the gym after work, then plan on, if the weather is permitting, go outside and take a walk for 15, 20 minutes. This will mimic the gym concept.
Right.
So they want you to actually have a starting time and an ending time similar. And when you leave work, when you're finished, like you did, Jess, turn off the light and don't come back.
Right. Earlier, you mentioned spending enough home time. I really want to talk about how we handle loneliness and
Yeah,
anxiety during this time. Um, just all of those mental emotions that can wreak
sure.
havoc on someone.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, loneliness is one of the world's most significant risks of premature death, especially at a time like this with so much unknown with the virus. So here's what they suggest. And we've talked about some of those things on your show, Jess. Take part in some kind of a physical activities. Try to go out 2 to 3 times a day outside and walk a little bit, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, for example, take some of the calls outside if you can. Step outside the door, stand outside, pace the parking lot or the driveway, and that would help tremendously. Keep or create new routines. Don't change that. That will help a lot with anxiety. And where possible, video call or essential to give that illusion of proximity and feel like the person is nearby. Those are some of the things you can do to help you along the way. But remember, nothing will help anxiety more. Getting the right amount of sleep, activities, you got to move and get your heart rate up, and eat healthy. I know this sounds crazy and very repetitive, but it matters because if obesity can cause atrophy to the brain, shrinkage of the brain, why wouldn't eating healthy help with anxiety? Our
Hmm.
health and our body weight affects our mood swings tremendously. So sleep, eating healthy, and move will help you tremendously during anxiety time.
Perfect. All right, Coach Maurice, I know we're going to continue to check in with you and we're going to continue to bring these helpful tips to our viewers. Guys, we're all in this together. We're all navigating these waters
That's right.
together and we'll get through it together. Coach Maurice, stay well.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Jess.